we will be focusing on absolute values and functions and equalities. The absolute value of a number is the number's distance from zero and will always be positive. An example would be how the absolute value of 10, of negative 10 actually, would be 10.
Graphing an absolute value function, you will always end up with a sort of V shape, and the formula will always be y equals the absolute, y equals a times the absolute value of x minus h plus k. And when graphing, if it's positive, you'll end up with that, while if it's negative, you'll end up with that.
Value of h in the equation will always shift left or right, while the value of k in the equation will shift up and down. A represents the direction and the width of the graph, while the vertex will be h and k, and that's really all you need to know.
Piecewise function is defined by two different functions that are discontinued. Piecewise functions will often look like that and are basically just discontinued, like I said earlier.
So to solve an absolute value equation, you have to set the solution equal to 0. So for example, it could be like x plus 7 equals 0. And then replace the 0 with y or an f of x. So, like that. And that's really it.
Value equation on a number line, you must first solve the equation. So basically, like, say it would be 8 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 9. You'd have this.
Question 1 tells you to choose the best answers to the absolute value inequality. So step 1 would be you separate both inequalities into a positive and a negative, and you switch the greater than and less than signs. Then you bring down the 7x and you bring down the 21, and you would divide by 7 on both sides, and you get x is greater than or equal to 3. And for the other side, you would get 7x and divided by 7 and negative 21 and divided by 7, and you get x is less than or equal to negative 3. And those are your final answers.
In the equation to get x, you just divide by 3. You get the absolute value of x minus 2 is equal to 11, and you'd end up with x minus 2 equals 11. Add 2, you get x equals 13. If you want to use this as an equation to graph, you'd have to get 3 times the absolute value of x minus 2 equals 33. You'd subtract 33 and set it equal to 0, so you get 3 times the absolute value of x minus 2 minus 33 equals 0, and you'd set that 0 into y or f of x, so then you'd get f of x equals 3 times x minus 2 minus 33.
Question number 3 is a different type of question. It's free response. So what you have to do is solve and plot the inequality. The inequality in this case is 3x plus 9 is greater than or equal to 12, and then you also put it on the other side as the opposite, which is negative 12 instead of the positive 12. So what you do is you get it out of the absolute value and then you subtract the 9 on both sides, so you get 3x, and then the other side is just 3. Then you divide by 3 on both sides, and you would get, for your final answer on this one, is x is greater or equal to 1. And on the other side, you would do the same things, but you would get 3x and negative 21, and then you divide those by 3, and you get x is less than or equal to negative 7. Those are two of your final answers. But it also says, as you can see, plot the inequality. So you would put that on the line, on the number line, and you'd get your number line should end up looking like this, because x is greater than or equal to, so it's a closed circle and it's going up, and then x is less than or equal to negative 7, so it's going more down, more negative number line, down the number line, and it's also closed because it is equal or equal to. So that's it.